Hey guys, welcome back. I'm feeling so much better. God really helped me understand why I was having such a hard time lately with him and understanding like him and why he's done certain things in the Bible and stuff. And basically what it boils down to is um I was saying the other day how like there's a part of me, like my spirit, like my soul trusts God undoubtedly, like 100%, no questions asked. Like I feel God is like good and right and like love from him and like all of that stuff. And then there's like a part of me that's like fighting that and is like, but why are you doing all these bad things? Like in my view, that's what it looks like to me. Like, why are you killing all these people and this and that? And, you know, um, and anyway, so basically, what it comes down to is like, yeah, there's a big part of me, my spirit, my soul, like trusts God and has faith and everything in him. But, the flesh part of me, the human part of me here on earth has been hurt by everyone, especially the people that were the most closest to me, in my life, so I have like really bad trust issues. I don't trust anyone. My husband is like the closest, and even then sometimes I that like survivor part of my brain like goes into gear whenever he tells me like certain things, and I'm like, oh no, like can I trust you, like and stuff like that. And so that part of me that's been hurt so much is like still like on edge and like, oh, like looking for a reason to like say, see, you can't trust God either. You can't lean on God either. You can't trust that he's, you never know, like he might not keep his word or he might not do this or that. And you have to understand that up until like later last year, how it's been like a few months now, I didn't recognize God. I didn't believe in him. I didn't know what I believed in. I just believed that there was a higher power and that there was multiple religions out there in the world and that people believed different things. And I had no idea. And I never looked into any of it because I didn't want to. It made my brain hurt. It was overwhelming. And I already had enough that I was dealing with in my life, and stress and anxiety and depression and just problems upon problems and trauma and pain and hurt and sadness, that to look into God or the Bible or other religions or, all of that world was not even like on my radar. So, I didn't even believe in God up until a few months ago. And so it's not even about like whether I believe in God or anymore. I believe in God 100%. It's now trying to understand why he does certain things and to have complete faith and trust that even if it's something that I think is like not right, I have to trust that God has his reasons, whether I know those reasons or not. And I've taken a lot of time, today and yesterday when I went out of town, because it drives about 2 hours, and just really just spent time with God and was just like, reflecting and thinking and just like realizing that, I think this is a relationship with God that's just going to take time for me to see that he's not going to let me down. He's not going to leave me. He's not going to abandon me, because I also have really bad abandonment issues. Um, uh, and so it's just hard. It's not easy. It's not like I or God can just snap my fingers and I can just completely like erase all that pain that I have, that I've built up here on earth, even though my spirit and my soul is like, yes, God, like I'm home with you. Yay. Like I trust you without a doubt. Like I trust you. I feel you. I feel your love. I know you're good. I feel it in my bones that he's good. And but that flesh part of me, the human part of me that's been hurt is like fighting that. And then I think also the enemy has taken advantage of that and is like whispering more things in my head and trying to get me to not trust God even more, so that like hopefully I'll turn my back or something on him and be like, well, no, like I don't trust you, so like I can't fully like give in to you, you know? And so I've just been asking God to help me with that. And I know time is going to be a big one. I think it's just going to take time for me to build that relationship with God, to build that trust on him. Um, which I hate. And I even told God this. I was like, I hate that I feel like almost like you have to prove yourself to me, because God shouldn't have to do that. But it's like weird, because like my spirit, my soul knows that God doesn't have to prove himself to me, but it's like the human part of me that's been like hurt so much has just, that's how I've learned to survive, is to watch people over time and see if I can trust them, see if I can lean on them. And so that's what I'm doing with God subconsciously. And I didn't even realize I was doing it. So when I was reading all that stuff in the Bible, it was like that trauma, pain, human part of me, the flesh, and then the enemy trying to like attack me and convince me that, yeah, see, you can't trust God. You can't trust that he's good and gonna take care of you and be good to you, like, and love you. Like, he does bad things. And so I'm feeling better. I'm not quite there. I still like things pop up in my head that I'm like, oh, but all I do is just pray and ask God about it and ask him to help me get past this, come to peace with this, understand him more, understand what's going on more, and just continue to develop that faith and trust and heal that flesh trauma, pain, and stuff that's going in there that's fighting me. And then also a big thing too is to help me discern what is the enemy telling me lies and temptations and whispering things in my ears, and then what's actually God, and then what's the flesh. Because I do have a hard time sometimes. Like, I'll think of something or hear something in my head, and I'm like, okay, was that God or was that the enemy? Like, it's like hard sometimes for me to like, because I'm like, I've noticed like a big thing about God is like obeying his commands, obeying what he says. Because if he's telling you to do something, it's for a reason, whether you see it at first or not. And um so I'm like, man, I want to obey you. I want to let you guide me. I want you to take me on this life that you have planned for me and guide me to great things. But sometimes I'm like doubting myself. I'm like, oh, was that God or was that the enemy? Or or is that the flesh like messing with me too? Like I get confused sometimes. So I've been asking God to like help me with discernment as well. To tell the difference between the three, because I've been also having difficulty with that. So all in all, things are better. I'm feeling better. I've been asking him for help with all of these issues, and he's really been helping me. And I know that God understands why I feel this way because of everything I've been through. And I know he understands. I can just feel it. I know he understands that me not fully letting go and trusting in him and having faith in him 100% is nothing he's done, nothing about him. It's just me trying to overcome the pain that I've gone through as a human so far, in my life here on earth. Like my spirit and soul is like, as soon as I brought God into my life and I really just kind of let him in and let it all soak in and really started to believe in him, it's like my spirit and soul is like, yeah, I'm home. Like, God, I'm home. Yeah, I found you. Like, I'm back home. I was lost and now I'm not. But then there's the human flesh part of me who's been through a lot and is like, still like, hey, wait, hold on. And then, of course, the enemy is like, ooh, let's take advantage of this. She's having a hard time and feeling iffy about God and conflicted. Let's take advantage and make it worse. So it's been hard, but I am feeling better. So, yes, if you're having any troubles like me or have been, the best thing I can tell you to do is pray to God and ask him for help. So that's what I've been doing, and he's been helping. So, yeah. Okay, guys, let's get into today's chapters.
Bathsheba therefore went to King Solomon. to speak to him for Adonijah. And the king rose up to meet her and bowed down to her, and sat down on his throne, and had a throne set for the king's mother. So she sat at his right hand. Then she said, I desire one small petition of you. Do not refuse me. And the king said to her, Ask it, my mother, for I will not refuse you. So she said, Let Abishag the Shunammite be given to Adonijah your brother as wife. And King Solomon answered and said to his mother, Now why do you ask Abishag the Shunammite for Adonijah? Ask for him the kingdom also, for he is my older brother. For him, and for Abiathar the priest, and for Joab the son of Zeruiah. Then King Solomon swore by the Lord, saying, May God do so to me, and more also, if Adonijah has not spoken this word against his own life. Now therefore, as the Lord lives, who has confirmed me and set me on the throne of David my father, and who has established a house for me, as he promised, Adonijah shall be put to death today. So King Solomon sent by the hand of Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, and he struck him down, and he died.
So when I was reading this, when I was recording this, I was so confused. I do not understand at all what Adonijah did that upset King Solomon so much. Like, I know he asked for that girl's, to be his wife or whatever, but like, why was that so bad that, and so like, almost like, it almost feels like King Solomon was like offended. Like, how dare he ask that, like, and now he's going to be put to death and he was killed. And I'm so confused on what just happened there. Like, in my eyes, all he did was just ask for that girl to be his wife. So, super confused on that.
And to Abiathar the priest, the king said, Go to Anathoth, to your own fields, for you are deserving of death. But I will not put you to death at this time, because you carried the ark of the Lord God before my father David, and because you were afflicted every time my father was afflicted.
And that one too. Why is Abiathar the priest deserving of death? I don't understand that either. Um,
So Solomon removed Abiathar from being priest to the Lord, that he might fulfill the word of the Lord, which he spoke concerning the house of Eli at Shiloh. Then news came to Joab, for Joab had defected to Adonijah, though he had not defected to Absalom. So Joab fled to the tabernacle of the Lord, and took hold of the horns of the altar. And King Solomon was told, Joab has fled to the tabernacle of the Lord. There he is, by the altar. Then Solomon sent Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, saying, Go, strike him down. So Benaiah went to the tabernacle of the Lord, and said to him, Thus says the king, Come out. And he said, No, but I will die here. And Benaiah brought back word to the king, saying, Thus said Joab, and thus he answered me. Then the king said to him, Do as he has said, and strike him down and bury him, that you may take away from me and from the house of my father the innocent blood which Joab shed. So the Lord will return his blood on his head, because he struck down 2 men more righteous and better than he, and killed them with the sword, Abner, the son of Ner, the commander of the army of Israel, and Amasa, the son of Jether, the commander of the army of Judah, though my father David did not know it. Their blood shall therefore return upon the head of Joab, and upon the head of his descendants forever. But upon David and his descendants, upon his house and his throne, there shall be peace forever from the Lord.
and this is another thing I've been struggling with is why are we why is the blood that Joab shed being put on his descendants as well? Like, the descendants aren't even born yet. They haven't even done anything yet. Why are they, why is it being put upon their head? And God has also done that sometimes too. He's punished, people have done bad things, and then their descendants for, a couple generations or forever are being punished. Like with Adam and Eve, they messed up and they sinned, and he, punished Eve and all future women by making labor difficult, and then men, Adam, and all men in the future as well, by making them work the land hard, or, whatever, however he worded exactly, but like working the land hard. And I just don't understand why God did that and why he does that sometimes. And then there was also another part later on in the Bible where he even said, you know, it's going to, like, something was going to hurt to the, like, something fifth, fourth generation or something like that of, like, people of this person or whatever that he was punishing. And I don't understand why God does that sometimes. Why God, you know, how that works or why that is or what's going on with that. And I actually prayed and asked him today for help with that because I just don't understand. I don't understand why God does that or why he's done that. Like, it doesn't seem fair to punish other people for the sins of others. I know that happens sometimes, but it just, for God to do it on purpose, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I know sometimes you have to recognize that your actions affect others, and I get that. But like, to do a whole thousands and thousands of generations of people all because Adam and Eve messed up in the beginning is like, I don't know. And like, why do the descendants of Joab have to have the blood of those people that he killed on their heads? Like, that just doesn't seem fair or right to me. Like, ugh.
So Benaiah the son of Jehoiada went up and struck and killed him, and he was buried in his own house in the wilderness. The king put Benaiah the son of Jehoiada in his place over the army, and the king put Zadok the priest in the place of Abiathar. Then the king sent and called for Shimei, and said to him, "Build yourself a house in Jerusalem, and dwell there, and do not go out from there anywhere. For it shall be, on the day you go out and cross the brook Kidron, know for certain you shall surely die. Your blood shall be on your own head." And Shimei said to the king, "The saying is good. As my lord the king has said, so your servant will do." So Shimei dwelt in Jerusalem many days. Now it happened at the end of 3 years that 2 slaves of Shimei ran away to Achish, the son of Maacah, king of Gath. And they told Shimei, saying, "Look, your slaves are in Gath." So Shimei arose, saddled his donkey, and went to Achish at Gath to seek his slaves. And Shimei went and brought his slaves from Gath. And Solomon was told that Shimei had gone from Jerusalem to Gath, and had come back. Then the king sent and called for Shimei, and said to him, "Did I not make you swear by the Lord, and warn you, saying, know for certain that on the day you go out and travel anywhere, you shall surely die? And you said to me, the word I have heard is good. Why then have you not kept the oath of the Lord and the commandment that I gave you?" The king said moreover to Shimei, "You know, as your heart acknowledges, all the wickedness that you did to my father David. Therefore the Lord will return your wickedness on your own head. But King Solomon shall be blessed, and the throne of David shall be established before the Lord forever." So the king commanded Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, and he went out and struck him down, and he died. Thus the kingdom was established in the hand of Solomon. Now Solomon made a treaty with Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and married Pharaoh's daughter. Then he brought her to the city of David until he had finished building his own house, and the house of the Lord, and the wall all around Jerusalem. Meanwhile, the people sacrificed at the high places, because there was no house built for the name of the Lord until those days. And Solomon loved the Lord, walking in the statutes of his father David, except that he sacrificed and burned incense at the high places. Now the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place. Solomon offered 1,000 burnt offerings on that altar. At Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. And God said, "Ask, what shall I give you?" And Solomon said, "You have shown great mercy to your servant David, my father, because he walked before you in truth, in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with you. You have continued this great kindness for him, and you have given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. Now, O Lord my God, you have made your servant king instead of my father David. But I am a little child. I do not know how to go out or come in. And your servant is in the midst of your people, whom you have chosen, a great people, too numerous to be numbered or counted. Therefore, give to your servant an understanding heart to judge your people, that I may discern between good and evil. For who is able to judge this great people of yours?" The speech pleased the Lord, that Solomon had asked this thing. Then God said to him, "Because you have asked this thing, and have not asked long life for yourself, nor have asked riches for yourself, nor have asked the life of your enemies, but have asked for yourself understanding to discern justice. Behold, I have done according to your words. See, I have given you a wise and understanding heart, so that there has not been anyone like you before you, nor shall any like you arise after you. And I have also given you what you have not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be anyone like you among the kings all your days. So if you walk in my ways, to keep my statutes and my commandments, as your father David walked, then I will lengthen your days." Then Solomon awoke, and indeed it had been a dream. And he came to Jerusalem and stood before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, offered up burnt offerings, offered peace offerings, and made a feast for all his servants. Now 2 women who were harlots came to the king and stood before him. And one woman said, "O my lord, this woman and I dwell in the same house, and I gave birth while she was in the house." Then it happened, the 3rd day after.
I'm so sorry, guys. I forgot to take the music off again, and that is super loud, but there is nothing I can do. I'm so sorry. And I don't have time to redo the recording and the whole video today, so we're just gonna have to bear with me, and I will remember to take it off tomorrow.
After I had given birth, that this woman also gave birth. And we were together. No one was with us in the house, except the 2 of us in the house. And this woman's son died in the night, because she lay on him. So she arose in the middle of the night, and took my son from my side, while your maidservant slept, and laid him in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. And when I rose in the morning to nurse my son, there he was, dead. But when I had examined him in the morning, indeed, he was not my son whom I had born. Then the other woman said, "No, but the living one is my son, and the dead one is your son." And the first woman said, "No, but the dead one is your son, and the living one is my son." Thus they spoke before the king. And the king said, "The one says, 'This is my son who lives,' and your son is the dead one. And the other says, 'No, but your son is the dead one, and my son is the living one.' Then the king said, "Bring me a sword." So they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, "Divide the living child in two, and give half to one and half to the other." Then the woman whose son was living spoke to the king, for she yearned with compassion for her son. And she said, "O my lord, give her the living child, and by no means kill him." But the other said, "Let him be neither mine nor yours, but divide him." So the king answered and said, "Give the first woman the living child, and by no means kill him. She is his mother."
So when I read that earlier, I was like, what? And but now, just as we were reading it, I understand now why he did that with the sword and everything and saying about killing it in half, because he knew that by saying that, the real mother of the child would reveal herself, in which she did by saying, "No, I'd rather have my child alive and living with the other mother than killing my child." Like, so that's pretty cool. I didn't notice that earlier. I was like, what is happening? But that makes so much sense. He was using that sword and saying half the child to reveal who the real mother was. Because, a real mom, I mean, a parent, you don't want your child to die. So of course you're going to be like, no, 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 like let the child live even if it's not with me. Like I would do that. Like, I mean, it's a bad situation, but still, like, I'd rather have my child be alive than to be, dead. Um, just so that someone else doesn't have her. You know what I mean? So,
And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had rendered, and they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of God was in him to administer justice. So King Solomon was king over all Israel, and these were his officials: Azariah, the son of Zadok, the priest; Elahoreph and Ahijah, the sons of Shisha, scribes; Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, the recorder; Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, over the army; Zadok and Abiathar, the priests; Azariah, the son of Nathan, over the officers; Zabud, the son of Nathan, a priest and the king's friend; Ahishar, over the household; and Adoniram, the son of Abda, over the labor force. And Solomon had 12 governors over all Israel, who provided food for the king and his household. Each one made provision for 1 month of the year. These are their names: Ben-Hur, in the mountains of Ephraim; Ben-Deker, in Makaz; Shaalbim, Beth-Shemesh, and Elon Beth-Hanan; Ben-Hesed, in Arubboth. To him belonged Soko, and all the land of Hepher; Ben-Abinadab, in all the regions of Dor. He had Taphath, the daughter of Solomon, as wife; Baanah, the son of Ahilud, in Taanach, Megiddo, and all Beth-Shean, which is beside Zaratan, below Jezreel, from Beth-Shean to Abel-Meholah, as far as the other side of Jokneam; Ben-Geber, in Ramoth-Gilead. To him belonged the towns of Jair, the son of Manasseh, in Gilead. To him also belonged the region of Argob, in Bashan, 60 large cities with walls and bronze gate bars; Ahinadab, the son of Iddo, in Mahanaim; Ahimaaz, in Naphtali. He also took Basemath, the daughter of Solomon, as wife; Baanah, the son of Hushai, in Asher and Aloth; Jehoshaphat, the son of Peruah, in Issachar; Shimei, the son of Elah, in Benjamin; Geber, the son of Uri, in the land of Gilead, in the country of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and of Og, king of Bashan. He was the only governor who was in the land.
okay, guys, there we have it. I will remember to turn off the music tomorrow because for some reason that music was so loud. I don't know what that was about, but I will take it off. um, anyways, well, I am so excited that we're on day 100. I just want to say, anyone who is new to the Bible like me, and whether you're watching my videos now or you find my videos in the future, um, I just want to say, like, even if you're having a hard time with the Bible or God or developing your relationship with God and you're having trouble, maybe you're having trouble fighting the flesh, maybe you're having trouble fighting the enemy, I don't know. Do not give up because, I mean, honestly, think about the alternative. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm a little conflicted and confused with God right now, but at the end of the day, I feel God's love, I feel God's light, I feel God's good, and I feel like He's taking me down a good path. And I'm already been doing better the past few months than I have done my whole life. And I'm making really good changes in my life. So it's like, what's the alternative? You know, like really think about that. So, anyways, my daughter woke up, so I have to go, but I will talk to you guys tomorrow.